before we got the anchors, we were really just using bands, and the bands were all right, but there was no way to really track the weight. So if we were doing any of the big lifts, we couldn't do the progressive overload that we usually like to, where people are increasing the weight week to week. So that was kind of tough. They would just kind of say what band they were using or try to find the right resistance for the rep range we were doing, but we couldn't track that weight week to week, and the Anchor has allowed us to do that.
We were just unable to do a lot of the rotational movements. As Pat said, using bands is great, but it's variable resistance. It didn't really have that same kind of fluid movement the entire time. So we were limited with the certain movements that we could incorporate. You can only go so far. So once we discovered the Anchor, it was a no-brainer.
It's been an absolute game changer for our programming, because depending like what exercises are in a given circuit, if we're pairing it up with like a back squat at the rack, we can move the ANCORE over to the rack and do, a half kneel and row or something. But then if we're doing the second trisets over here on the turf, we can move it over and pair, a hip dominant move with our half kneeling chop. So the fact that we can move it so easily, we can move the height, depending on what exercises we're pairing that with, it's been made our programming that much easier.
It was super easy once the attachments came in and we determined the right height. Drilling them into the beams took a half hour, and it was a no-brainer using the squat rack, because you can use either the left or right side, low, medium, high, and just slide it up and down. So if when we're setting the room up the night before, it takes an extra couple minutes in order to adjust for that particular movement the next day. So it's just super efficient.
I mean, they love it. Anytime we get, like I said, new toys, people are excited, but this has been definitely the most excited new piece of equipment we've gotten in a long time from our members. So
I think this just takes it to the next level in terms of versatility. Like I said, there's a purpose for bands, and we've always wanted to have a cable system, but it never made sense with taking up too much space and especially like the cost of the cable systems. So it was kind of always like a dream of ours to have cable systems at each squat rack, but in reality we needed 9 of them, and it, like I said, didn't make sense from a space perspective or efficiency. And having these now, it just brings us to the next level with different variety of movements that we can incorporate.
Between how cost effective it is, the versatility of it, and the fact that like in a class setting like us where we're doing true strength training workouts, we need 9 of them. We got 2 people per rack, and it really wasn't a possibility with your classic cable type of equipment. And with this, it's made it possible for the group setting, and it's smooth. Everything is smooth. Like we wouldn't have been able to do it really in this class setting without the Anchor.